Hello, this is Jaimie.
And this is John.
And we want to share our experiences with beyond weddings and events. So getting to Kyoto normally would be extremely difficult, but thanks to Mie, we were able to travel by a little unusual means.
Yeah, we took the Akamatsu train, and it was one of the most beautiful train rides that we ever had. And we got to see some beautiful views of the ocean.
And when we got there, we were able to visit Amano Hashidate. So it's one of the top 3 scenic views of Japan, and it was breathtaking. We would never ordinarily be able to travel there because it's very difficult, but by using Beyond Wedding and events, we were able to visit many places in Kyoto that maybe it's really hard for foreigners to travel to.
Yeah, for example, we visited a silk factory, which was a great way to learn about how the silk is made in a local way. And we also visited a sake factory and did a sake tasting. It was delicious. We even bought a bottle for ourselves.
Yeah. We stayed in a beautiful ryokan, which was on top of a mountain, and the view at the ryokan was fantastic. There was also an onsen attached to it, and that gives you an opportunity to try onsen if you're feeling a little nervous. It's a little more private, but it is a great experience that you have to try when you come to Japan. The food was also really delicious.
So nice.
Kyoto is a part of Kyoto that is really different from the main part. So when you come to Kyoto, it's very touristy. There's a lot of attractions, and it's really convenient to get around to. But traveling to Kyoto is basically the countryside. So the atmosphere of the countryside is a little more relaxed and everything moves a little more slowly. We never thought we would be able to visit that part because it's extremely difficult to get to, but going there, the atmosphere and the people were very different than normal Kyoto.
Yeah, I think that since you're kind of outside of the city, I think you get a little more of an authentic experience, and you get to meet people that maybe don't see foreigners as often as they would in the main city.
We stayed 3 days for our trip, but I would recommend around 3 or 4 days just to be able to experience all the different things you can do in Kyoto.
Yeah, we did so many great and wonderful things. I think one of my favorite ones is we took a gondola ride up Mount Moju and got to see one of the top 3 views in Japan. Beautiful, breathtaking view of the ocean and the very famous natural land bridge in Amano Hashidate.
You can also cross this land bridge. We didn't get to cross it completely, but we did get to walk along it. The route is really beautiful, and apparently it only takes maybe 1 hour to walk across. You can also see the famous rotating bridge, and there's a lot of different just old style houses to visit. For example, we visited an old merchant house, which is in really good condition considering that it was built in the 1700s. So there's lots of different things to experience cultural-wise that you wouldn't normally see in Kyoto just because this is so far away from the main city.
Obviously, the most memorable part of our trip was the actual wedding ceremony. We had the most beautiful ceremony, and I think that it blended both Western style and Japanese style wedding so perfectly, and it was just Mie put together such a wonderful and unique experience for us.
So traditionally we would have gotten married back in our hometown, which is in Georgia, so we had planned to potentially elope before we returned from Japan, But when we were presented with this opportunity to have this amazing wedding, we jumped at it and we completely embraced a non-traditional style wedding. So the ceremony was a mixture of Japanese and Western style, and we both got to wear traditional Japanese wedding garb. So I got to wear a beautiful kimono and he got to wear a really wonderful hakama.
So like she said, we had a blend of Japanese style and Western style. So that included having a celebrant there to kind of give the more traditional reading of the vows and you may kiss the bride and all of that. But we also had a Shinto priest come and pray over the building and over us and pour us the traditional sake that we had to drink.
So we did a Sansan Kudo ceremony, which if you have a wedding like this, you can find out what it means. In the future, I would definitely love to bring my family back to Kyotango, seeing as it's kind of difficult to get there. Now I know the options that will allow me to bring friends or family to visit, and considering that it's such a beautiful and unique experience, I'd love to have my family come and see where I was married.
Yeah, and I think that if you have family members that maybe have never experienced Japan,
for people who would like to try and have this experience that we had, I would certainly recommend doing some research about the paperwork that you might need to get legally married in Japan. So Beyond Wedding and Events really helped us put together all of the paperwork that we needed, but there are some things that you are required to do on your own, which we had a lot of help from Mie showing us what to do. The experience itself was fantastic, and even though it required a little bit of paperwork from our end, it was a great way to have a legal wedding without having it in America.
and I think whether or not you live in Japan already or if you just love to visit here, I think having a wedding with Beyond Weddings would give you the most wonderful experience. I don't think we could have had easier, more beautiful wedding than what we had. So we hope you would consider Beyond Weddings and Events if you want to have a beautiful and very unique wedding.
See you in Japan!